This segment is sponsored by iChiro Clinics. Have you come to accept that some aches and pains are just a part of life? There's nothing you can do to alleviate them? Well, that doesn't have to be your reality. Dr. Michael Kwast is here from iChiro Clinics to talk about finding solutions for your pain and discover some things you may be doing to cope with injuries or discomfort that are doing you in. Hi, Dr. Kwast.
Hello.
You talked to me about something called compensation patterns. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so what happens is people, when they have an injury or a minor trauma, they'll develop these patterns of movement that your brain will actually take out the muscles that use those movements if they've been injured, and it'll do a workaround. It's kind of like in your GPS when you like turn down the wrong street, the GPS is recalculating and you get a new route. Your brain will recalculate a new route for the muscles. Then what happens is that new pattern will stick around and then create a suboptimal movement pattern, which then causes more injuries and degeneration or arthritis in the joint.
And you used for me the example of somebody who's injured their back. Talk through that example, if you would.
Yeah, sure. So one of the common things we see, I mean, you see it with all things like shoulders, hips, knees, but you see it very commonly in the back where somebody will bend down to like tie their shoe or bend down to pick up a pencil and then they like, you know, hurt their back. When
Mhm.
we know that activity doesn't hurt it because a toddler can do that activity 100 times and doesn't get hurt. It's not that activity. It was the person's inability to do the movement. And so where we see the problem very commonly is actually in the hips. The hips don't bend right. So then the person bends down to pick up the pencil, but not with their hips. It's all with their back. And then their back becomes strained, not because it was a back problem. The back just was trying to take up all the slack with its compensation pattern. The problem lies in the hips range of motion being restricted, and the person didn't even know that they had that problem.
Huh, interesting. So you use testing on your patients to discover where their mobility patterns are and if those are healthy or compensatory type movements, right?
Yeah, you can tell a lot by a person by just doing some simple range of motion testing, some simple mobility testing. You can tell real fast. A person who can't do the movements, they're so stiff and tight they can't even do certain movements. Of course, they're going to be at higher risk of an injury when they do something. And of course, they're going to have more arthritis and degeneration in the joints that are involved. The problem is people don't know this, so they're not looking. We're looking all the time. Our team, we have a whole team that's looking at this stuff, nurse practitioner. We've got chiropractors, massage therapists, exercise physiologists. We have a medical team. We've got a whole group that's looking at this and really trying to combine all of our expertise to get that patient the absolute best outcome as possible. And a lot of that just starts with them, on the patient, understanding what actually is going on, so that they are, empowered to make choices about what they want to do.
And so is your treatment, Dr. Quast, an undoing of what the brain has set up to compensate?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. You can exercise. So the problem is people are like, oh, I'll just exercise, but you're then reinforcing the bad pattern over and over and over. That doesn't fix what's wrong. You can be very strong and have a bad pattern. So we have to reset the pattern. And we reset that with some of the instruments and the tools that we have that reset those, what are called mechanoreceptors. They actually reset the brain's perception of how those muscles should work. And when you do that over time, you can actually get it to change, come back, and then you reinforce it with exercises, stretches, and some other therapies so that then you can get the best pattern possible so that you can then last as long as possible as a human walking around and doing things on this earth with the things you want to do, which
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Yeah, it certainly is a big deal. And folks, if you'd like to get in to see take advantage, I guess, of all of Dr. Quast's team to be your optimal self, dragging that body of yours around this earth, give them a call or make an appointment. And you may do that at iChiroclinics.com. Dr. Quast, thank you.
Hey, thank you.